We are recording.
Hey, Chief, are you also hearing like some feedback that sounds like crickets?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, that's not just my computer then.
Yeah, it went away just now, though.
It seems to accompany Brenda's talking.
Really?
Okay.
One of my phones? Let me move it.
Yeah, your phone's probably giving it like some electromagnetic interference. Oh, so much better.
Really?
Can't run in those.
That's what I hear when Brenda tells me she's recording. Crickets.
Crickets. Brenda, you recording? Crickets.
All right, we are going live.
Hey, shut the door for me, Val. Thanks.
Shut that door. When you leave. Woosah. I should have cut my hair too, Chief. Dang, I didn't know you were gonna show me out like that. Now I look like that dude that didn't get a haircut throughout COVID.
Okay, so we are gonna go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, I know. Okay. Okay. We are about to get started. Thank you everybody for joining us. Just letting a few more people jump in. All right, hi everybody, good afternoon, and thank you for joining our webinar. A few admin notes: if you are on the Zoom, feel free to hit the Q&A down at the bottom, and we'll get to your questions as soon as we can. If you are on Facebook Live, feel free to post your posts on there. We have Airman Bedford. She'll be able to answer any questions and pass them on over to us. So we're pretty much tracking a little bit from Zoom and Facebook Live. So we may take a little bit to get to your questions, but we'll get to them. We promise on there. So just to welcome everybody, I am Master Sergeant Brenda Rodriguez from the 89th Airlift Wing Sam Fox University team over at Joint Base Andrews. I am joined today by our very own Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Pilgrim, who will be kicking it off in just a few seconds. I'm also along here with Senior Master Sergeant Reyes. He's one of the founding members of Sam Fox University. So welcome both of them. They'll be joining us here in a second. But we are excited to be collaborating with AFQU. Thank you so much to Sergeant Hardesty and Chief Aishan and the entire really QU team for allowing us to collaborate. We've been talking about this for a little while, so I'm really glad we were able to do this. And a big thank you and a shout out to the SFU team. I see you guys on there. Thank you for doing all this for us. We're pretty much here today to talk about developing a talent management program in the 21st century. And we're using our very own example, Sam Fox University. We will go over how we got started, what we're doing in the future, and pretty much share some things that have worked out and other things that we have learned along the way. We hope that you find this helpful, especially if you're looking to develop a talent management program. There are many out there, but we'll share what worked for us, and we'll be happy to share and with all our insights and everybody that who is looking to develop something like this for their own wing. So before we jump into the slides, Chief Pilgrim, the floor is all yours.
Hey, thank you so much, Brenda. How do you hear me?
Hear you good, Chief?
Great. Hey, welcome to everybody out there. Special shout out to Quarantine University for partnering with us, and then also my own Sam Fox University team, Brenda, Chris, and everybody else involved. Super proud of the effort and super proud of people still continuing to develop our airmen even during the pandemic, and doing a fantastic job of innovating in this space and using the virtual space to still get after the high touch aspect of our jobs. So Sam Fox University, you know, is a phenomenal program. I mean, I might be a little biased, but you know, I will say that it has really blossomed and grown into something incredible. Something that started out of a need in our wing for more development that airmen were asking for, and also a way to deliver that development to overcome the barrier of our ops tempo, which we are disparate all over the world all the time. So, you know, a couple things. First off, you know, I'll say, you know, we have it tagged as a talent management program. I think that's a little bit of a misnomer, because talent management includes more than just kind of professional development, but also, you know, experiences, mentorship, all those things. So this is really about developing our talent as a portion of our talent management program, you know, within Sam Fox University. You know, we kind of started on the premise, you know, one of the quotes I really like by Sir Richard Branson is, you know, what if we don't invest in people and they leave? Or what if we invest in our people and then they leave our company, versus what if we don't invest in our people and they stay? You know, I mean, equally, both are equally detrimental to the company, I would say. But we look at this as an investment in our airmen, and we use that word a lot. Like that's one of the premises of this program. And any program you build, it has to be about investing in people. And I think, you know, a lot of times we get pulled off by the return on investment aspect of it. So, you know, initially going in, one of our business rules was that we were not going to look for metrics, or, you know, the only metric we were really looking for was the satisfaction of the customer, the satisfaction of the airmen with our program, and that they enjoyed it and it made this a place that they wanted to stay because they felt they were invested in and they were supported by their wing. So, you know, we use some innovative processes. Andy Smith, Chris came up with our Bridge program, which we're extremely proud of, our partnership with the Bridge app. And we use that as really what we call an LMDS, a learning and mentorship delivery system, which they'll get into here further. But it's really some a special capability in the way that we use it to connect to our airmen. So to really give them that exquisite professional development that we're looking for. Again, you know, what's different about Sam Fox University? I'd say the things that I'm most proud of is the overarching concept, the concept of investment, which goes all the way back to our wing commander, Brigadier General Select Sankis, and her trust in me and trust in the team, and really, you know, a lot of people establish people as their number one priority, talent management, talent development is their number one priority, but resources have to follow your priorities. And we invested significant resources, and I'm super proud of that. So, and then again, our business rules, you know, less institutional, more individual, bottom-up driven development, I think, is what separates Sam Fox University. There's nothing mandatory. We use metrics, but we use the metrics to tailor the content to the individuals in terms of what do they want, what are they looking for out of their own professional development. And we don't use metrics to drive compliance, right? So this is not institutional, it's more individual. Again, the return on investment is the actual investment in airmen. So we're not looking for usage numbers. We use that stuff, but again, it's all used to track and not to validate the program. We know that we need to develop our airmen. We've been doing it forever. It's just a question of how much we invest. And the real fundamental question is, can you ever invest too much into your people? I think that's you probably can say that we tend to underinvest more so than put too much money and effort into our people. So those were some of the kind of overarching rules as we went about building this program, and we got some great support. And again, I shout out just the innovation. Like any command chief, you know, I'm full of good ideas and not high on executing, but I have very smart and capable people that work with me and work for me, and that I work for, that, you know, I could put an idea out and they could produce something that completely exceeded my expectations. So very proud of that, very proud of the innovative efforts again. And thank you to Quarantine University for partnering with us. And thanks, Brenda and the entire team, for your efforts. With that, I'll sign off unless there's any questions for me. Not sign off, but I'll stop talking.
Got it, Chief. Thank you. Thanks, Chief. We have a few questions, but we'll get to them to the end. Just hang in there, Chief. Thanks for being a part of this. And again, thank you for the support. You and Colonel Sunkus have been great with this, so we appreciate the support. It means a lot. So okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so Santa Fox University. So we had in the beginning stages, we had an opportunity, right? Just a problem that came up. So how can we deliberately develop our airmen that with our unique mission? We have a very high ops tempo in the 89th, and a lot of our people here at the 89th were our flyers. So it was very difficult to continue professional development without having in a classroom setting. So we wanted to basically find a way to provide professional development to everybody in our wing, no matter if they were TDY or whether they were here. So we wanted to make sure that we touched all the flight attendants, all the CSOs, all the flight engineers, and all the maintenance guys, because a lot of the career fields here at the 89th, you can just essentially be gone for 3 weeks, and we have these really, really amazing classes here in the NCR, but a lot of our airmen here didn't have the opportunity to do so. So we wanted to come up with something, and as Chief was saying, you know, they got together, and the solution for this was Sam Fox University. And I'll go into that. So Sam Fox University is basically what the solution was for this problem that we had here at the 89th Wing. And it's, like he said, it is a talent management program that we call here, but we wanted to find an innovative way that we can deliver this message to everybody without necessarily being in a classroom. So we have Bridge, which I'll go into in a second, but we wanted to make sure that everybody can access this either on their cell phone, on their laptop, on their computer, whether they were CONUS or OCONUS. We wanted to find a way to connect and stay connected via those means. And we pretty much found a really good method. And we also wanted to incorporate supervisors and mentors into this. We also wanted to make sure we had good keynotes and good workshops that were available to everybody. For example, we just had a few keynote speakers come in, and some people were TDY. So with our platform that we have with Bridge, we were able to pretty much put it on our platform and deliver it to everybody. So Sam Fox University is basically just stepping up a little bit with the professional development and having the opportunity to reach everybody outside the traditional classroom setting. And I wanted to start off with this. This is a very simple slide. When we developed Sam Fox University, it was one of these things that we had so many ideas, so many things were going on. And we were like, what is our identity? Like, what can we do to signify Sam Fox University? And I know it sounds really silly, but we went ahead and developed our crest. And once we developed our crest, that's one of the biggest takeaways. It really just defined us. It gave us that extra push. It almost made us like, it just gave us the extra motivation to just move forward with Sam Fox University. So I know this is a very simple thing, but when we started everything, developing the crest, developing our identity, And we had our motto, which is people first, Sandfox always. I know it sounds simplistic, but it is definitely one of the driving factors when we here at Sandfox University. It's what we use, it's our staple, and we take a lot of pride. And our PA team did a really good job in designing our crest. And from here on forward, this is pretty much what we use for Sandfox University. So we're very proud of that, and I wanted to share that. We also developed our mission, vision, and motto. Now, this is one of the things that was very important in developing this. We wanted to make sure we knew our mission, we knew our vision, and when we executed this, we knew what to say and where we were coming from, because that's important, right? Everybody wants to know the why and what's behind it, and what is this? Is this something for him, for her, for airmen? So developing the mission and the vision was important. The mission is basically simple. It's invest in our airmen and invest in our people. Like Chief was mentioning earlier, it's important. We can go above and beyond. So it's definitely one of our biggest, we take a lot of focus in our mission and we take it very, very serious. And our vision is just to instill the Sandfox culture and through this deliberate talent development. So having the mission, having the vision, and then our mottos I talked about earlier, people first, Sandfox always. I know it sounds very formal, but this was a very important element when we started developing Sandfox University. It's good to know all of these things, especially when you're in the process of promoting this to the commanders and across the wing. We also have our objectives, which was very important in developing this, is pretty much having what are our focuses. There's a lot of ideas and a lot of items that we were focusing on, but we need to really hone in, and we got our objectives here, which was basically to elevate the quality of service assigned, particularly to the Sandfox Airmen, and to utilize this via a web platform. So we wanted to not only provide professional development, but take it up a little bit and be able to give this to all airmen, no matter where they were at. So once we have our mission, we have our vision, we have our objectives, we all sat together and pretty much looked at our wing. So this is our wing, 89th Airlift Wing. And when we got together and looked at this, basically we have 4 groups under our wing. We have the 89th Airlift Support Group, Maintenance Group, Operations Group, and the Presidential Airlift Group. So a lot of these members in these units are flyers. So that was a big takeaway. We had to focus what exactly did we need and what we needed to deliver. And we looked at all these units and their own prospective missions, because we wanted to make it specifically to the 89th Wing. So this, I know it seems like a very simple picture, but we actually dove into this and found out what exactly every particular group required when it came to professional development and just talent management. So in all this, we also have, we developed a ecosystem, which was also extremely important when we developed this program, because we wanted to reach everybody. And I take a look at this quite often, actually, because I want to make sure, we have pretty much someone from every group, every squadron, every AFSC contributing and giving us what they need from their own personal perspectives. So we make sure we have flight attendants on here. We make sure we have CSOs on here. We make sure we have flight attendants on our team, because it's important. Our youngest is our Airman Basic. It's our Airman Basic Torres. He's pretty much our board of director for Facebook team, because he's the expert. So we definitely go to him. And then I would say our wisest, Lieutenant Colonel Moore, he's on there. So as you can see, it's a wide spectrum, and it's pretty much we incorporated everybody into this, so we could make sure we touch bases and we weren't just focusing on maintenance or flight attendants. We wanted to pretty much take the focus across the board. So the ecosystem is very important, and it's just good to have this and make sure you have the good amount of people on here and the right individuals from all across the wing. And so on to how the initiation of all this got started. Before I kind of dive into what we're doing with Sandfox University, I'm going to turn it to Sergeant Reyes, and he can tell you how that got started. Over to you, Sergeant.
Hey, thanks, Brenda. I appreciate that. So, hello, everyone, and thanks again to QU and everybody hosting today. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Chief Pilgrim and Brenda just kind of went over the the why we have SFU and kind of what it is that we're providing. So a lot of you might be interested in how we went about delivering this this program. And I think it starts off with the requirements, right? So Chief Pilgrim talked about, hey, you know, our airmen have a need for a talent management program that's got a holistic view of things. You know, so we looked at onboarding, starting from, you know, when somebody appears on your gains roster, how do we start talent management in that aspect? So onboarding, force development, personal growth, and career enhancement. So those were all in the requirements. Something that's agile, fast-paced to match the 89th Airlift Wing's ops tempo, and also integrated technical interface that's in order to maximize engagement and minimize barriers to utilizing the technology as an interface. So those were some of the deliverable requirements that we had. Once we knew that, we started into the design phase of how we might be able to deliver Sam Fox University. And really a small group of us, myself, Senior Master Sergeant Andrew Smith, and Chief Pilgrim, we had a lot of help from our finance management office. Our Commander's Action Group, Lieutenant Colonel Diedick, was a huge part in really moving the project management along. But once we got to the design, really my focus was keeping it organized in the design thinking methods of it. So design thinking, if you're not familiar with it, is here to the right of the slides. It starts with empathizing. So empathize just means put yourself in the position of the stakeholders. In our case, that was leadership in the 89th, who want and is interested in having an official talent management program for the wing, and also being one of the airmen in the wing. I sort of knew what was being provided to us and where we were coming up short on. So empathizing sometimes can be hard when you have to rely on SMEs and people in the organization to actually gather that information to take into the define phase. But in this case, we had a lot of help and a lot of inputs from across the wing, so it was easy to gather that information to really conquer the problem that we had. The next phase of that design process was to define. So we analyzed the data that we've gathered in order to better concrete the problems that we were encountering with talent management, and to really help the team gather ideas and be able to understand how to use them effectively. Once we were able to define what we were going to deliver, we went ahead and went into the ideate phase of designing. So that's just when we started brainstorming on possible solutions. Certainly there was no shortage of professional development content, but it was coming from all over the place. So one of the problems we got after was really taking all of these professional development content and putting them under one umbrella, which is Sam Fox University. Now that you got them all under one umbrella, how do you generate logical ideas on how to deliver that? And that's when Andy Smith did a little bit of market research, really, and he found out that a lot of civilians, Fortune 500 companies, Ivy League universities, are using this program called Bridge to develop their employees. So we looked into it a little bit more, got in touch with their engineering team, and really started prototyping. So this is going into the next phase of design on what are the things that, inexpensive products at first that has the features that we're looking for. So we started, hey, can we just use social media to deliver our platform? Certainly that's an option. Then we talked about SharePoint. Again, Brenda and the Chief Pilgrim just talked about we have to be able to reach our people wherever they are, because everybody's all around the world all the time, and delivering content has to be at the speed of today's technology. Just because I'm flying today doesn't mean I miss out on a great opportunity. And so SharePoint was one, MillSuite was another, combination of some of those, but the LMDS, the Learning Mentoring Delivery System that we went with was Bridge, and mainly because you could access it outside of AFNet. So you can be on your personal phone, on your iPad, your computer, there's an application for it. So you go in your app store and buy Bridge, the app, and you can deliver all of the requirements that we were working towards with Bridge. Next, after prototyping, was the test phase. So we started with an alpha test of 40 licenses. So we went ahead and enrolled some primary project management project managers into Bridge, and we started testing out all the different features, how you can create content, how you can embed content into there, so you can deliver project or professional development, and also deliver one-on-ones, deliver employee engagement, peer-to-peer connections. Those are just some of the features. But at the end of the day, if our testing failed in delivering SFU, the only thing that goes away is the delivery method, and we would still have a program to deliver our folks. But we really wanted this to work, and we knew that it would. So when we were happy with the alpha testing, we went ahead and did a beta test, and we bought 400 licenses. Chief Pilgrim talks about the importance of putting your money where your mouth is and assigning some resources to your efforts. And really, we put some money towards it and got 400 licenses to test all of our squadrons. We allotted a certain amount of fair share numbers to each squadron for folks to test it out at different hierarchies of the organization. And really that took us through the whole design phase of it. The next thing you want to do when you're trying to deliver a project like this is to go ahead and implement it. So currently this is where we're at. Implementation stage, SFU is ongoing. Brenda's going to talk about some of the initiatives that we have going on. Bridge, our delivery method, is under contract still until July, after which we plan to scale up to 600 licenses. Again, it's not mandatory. We're a growing wing organization of about 1,400 airmen now and civilians. So really that doesn't even cut half of our population, but it's not mandatory. And you use it as a tool, and it's not a replacement to your face-to-face engagement. However, it is used to enhance that whenever you get the inevitable face-to-face contact with your people, you should have a more enhanced a conversation because you've already been interfacing on Bridge. So that's the intent. More to follow this summer on the success of this venture. But after that, we definitely will get into verification to monitor the metrics that we're able to generate from the software, see if we're still providing what's on command learning that our people want and need. And we also have the capability to survey folks to see what the demand is for improvements of the content and or the delivery method. Beyond that, really the last phase of it would be maintenance. I think some of the barriers we face in that is right now it's not currently manned to a billet as far as your UMD. So right now we have Brenda as the SFU program director, and the rest of her team. This is just an additional duty for them, and they're doing a great job with it. But that's something that we can probably add some resources to later on down the line, and Wing FM and the legal team and everybody else will be involved. So that's the future really of SFU. On to Brenda for more of the great things that the team is doing now and providing knowledge and sharing content really like we're doing here today. So thanks again for having me, Brenda. I look forward to answering some questions later on.
Thank you, Sergeant Reyes, for that. As you can see, there was a big project. That one slide is lots and lots of work behind that, but thank you, Sergeant Reyes, for talking about the initiation. So here is basically what he was mentioning, the SFU, what we are. We came down to, for our particular wing, as Sergeant Reyes mentioned, integration, force development, and career enhancement. So those are the three pillars, particularly for the 89th, that we focused on and that we pretty much honed in on. Integration focuses basically on all the integration, people coming into our wing. The force development focuses on the professional development, the joint leadership, curriculum specific that's to each AFSC. So there's a lot of Air Force, there's a lot of items out there already, but this is specific for our flight attendants, CSOs, flight engineers, and our maintenance guys. And then career enhancement, it's another team that we have, and they focus on all the additional requirements like an AMP certification. We have a lot of maintainers on our wings, so that element focuses on that. And how we have it broken down here is integration, force development, and career enhancement. Not only are those great elements, but they also have a lot of the members' involvement. Integration is one team, force development is another team, and career enhancement is another one. They all encompass different flight engineers, flight attendants, and CSOs. And so they're pretty much coming up together and developing all this. And in order for us to deliver this, and we're going to use Bridge as our platform here. So this is kind of what the slide is intending here. So how are we delivering this? And we're delivering this via Bridge. So this is just a small snapshot of the intention. And I'll get into a little bit of what it looks like. Okay, so here's Bridge. What is it? How is it? It's an amazing platform. We have 5 particular items that we focus on Bridge. And I really wanted to touch on these because it's a really cool tool, to be frank, but they focus on the 101s. Now, this is where a member can go in and they can focus on their particular 101. So they can do their own self-assessment. There's a lot of tools and little gadgets in here that will prompt you to do so. And we'll get into those in the next couple of slides, but the 101 is important. We have also a feature of goals, which the member can load their goals. And an assessment, this is not in place of an ACA. This is just an assessment of how they can request to their supervisor or subordinates how they're doing on a particular item. So it doesn't take the place of an ACA, but this is just a formative assessment. A member can also join the career plan and pretty much develop their entire career plan. And I'll show you what that looks like in the next slide. And also learning, which is my personal favorite. And I'll go into that in the next couple of slides. But that's basically where we develop our courses for our members, and it gets sent out to them via Bridge. So what does it look like? This is what it looks like here. Any member, when they arrive to the 89th, they will receive this right here. It's a login. All we need is their email address. And then once we get their email address, they'll get an email from us telling them to set up their password. And this is what it looks like. And when you log on over to the right, as you can see, this is what the supervisor can see. So we have here, we have Chief Pilgrim, and this is all his superintendents here, and then it breaks it down even further. So it's a really cool tool for not only the supervisor, but the subordinates and all across really the entire the entire chain. So it's a really cool element that is a feature in Bridge that works out really well. And again, this is what Bridge actually looks like. This is my profile here, just a sample. So the member can pretty much have one snapshot of everything. And now this is my personal one here, but my supervisor and my subordinate can see this as well. So I can see what my subordinates are looking for, and my supervisor can see what I'm looking for. It takes about 10 minutes, maybe 15 to initiate everything, but it's pretty much a snapshot of everything. And then down at the bottom left, it's a timeline. You can see what I'm looking for. My supervisor can see if I'm meeting my timelines. And then over to the right is my career development plan, what I plan on doing. And I went all the way out until I retire. So these are pretty innovative tools. Again, this is all accessible. I can be on the road, going to Dubai, jump on my cell phone, log on and see what my troops are doing. So it's a really good platform. And again, it's all on a web base. So it's really nice. Now, it doesn't take away the face-to-face. Face-to-face is important, but it's also a good way to know what your airmen are doing. And this is one of my favorites. It's our delivery platform for learning. Now, this is where we can develop courses for our own individual subordinates or squadron or units. So what we did here is everybody who initially will go on to log on to Bridge, they'll receive, as you can see here, an Airman and Officer Introduction to Sam Fox University. It's a course created by us. It tells them how long it takes, how many steps, and it tells us when they saw it, how they saw it, and any feedback on it. And so it's 100% customizable, and it's a really good tool we just literally make it, send it, and then they view it. And the accountability is on there, right? And we have a tool and access to be able to make sure that they see that, and we'll get to that here on the next slide. But for one of the main, like we had the resiliency and suicide prevention, we wanted to make sure everybody saw that now. Our wing, like Sergeant Reyes was mentioning earlier, that we're all over the world. So we got this out there and we put it on here and we sent it out to everybody. And it was literally within seconds, all our members were able to see this video. And a cool feature that we just did recently, we have an incoming command chief that's coming in, and we created a course specifically for him, describing our entire wing, who we are, what we do, and pretty much describing what SFU is all about. So it's really cool. It's only 8 minutes long. It was a really good initiative that we did, and it was just one example that our incoming command chief is going to be seeing before he even gets here. So that was a really cool feature we just did. And accountability, right? I talked about that. This is how we can see here. Bridge provides the tools to be able to see how they're viewing it, the members, who's viewing it, and when they're viewing it. So it just provides a little bit of accountability for everybody to kind of keep on and watch what's going on. So this is right here on the left, the dark blue screen. It pretty much tells us what people are looking at. And also a good element for this is it tells us what time they're looking at it. So it's a pretty neat feature for us to have on here. But that's there's a lot more to it. And that's basically it in a very small nutshell. But here's one big element that's super helpful for us that we learned is having a roadmap is important. And it's one of the things that we hear. We have a lot more elements and milestones, but I just added a few on here. But it's vital, and that's basically our entire program in a couple of slides. And that wraps it up for us. If you have any questions, this would be a great time to ask them. I know we have a few here.
Hey, Brenda, if I could just add a couple things to the brief. So, a couple things I wanted to just foot stomp on, the branding of it. And you talked about the crest and the logo and things like that. Like, don't underestimate the importance of a brand. And I think, as we went into this, we wanted this to look more like a college than any PME or anything else. And not to say that those aren't good things and they have their purpose, but again, this has to be individual and not institutional. So, it looks like something that we own in the wing. It creates that pride of ownership, which gets the younger airmen, interested and involved in it. So branding is important. The finance person on the board of directors there that we had, Captain Newcomb initially, and now Captain Lamb, they were critical in working through, resourcing and getting speakers and stuff like that. Even though our boss, apportioned some resources to it, then you still, it's critical that you have that finance individual to help you work through contracting and things like that as you try to get these resources. I love Chris's design thinking idea. So the beauty of this was the empowerment and the kind of the talent that we have here, because I had no idea what Chris was talking about in that design thinking slide. Like, I never even saw that before, but apparently it happened, which is perfect, right? Because I had no idea and I don't even know how to do that. But, all I need to do is have the right people and empower them, and they can get it done for me. So let my ignorance be a great example of how to empower your people. And then, as far as the wing involvement in this, because, every squadron will have their own nuances, every group for professional development. What we do by bringing this under the wing is provide advocacy, resources, and unity of effort in our wing. So we have a place, one, where they can come to for resources for what they need for their squadron program. We also, we can tailor it so that we broadcast when one group is doing something amazing, it's now spread to the benefit of the entire wing. And then, with us making that the wing's number one priority in terms of talent management and people development, then that provides the advocacy for the squadrons to then execute and spend money on these things. So I just wanted to add those three things and look forward to the questions.
Okay, let's see. One of the questions is, how are you promoting this to the members, and how do you get the buy-in from the youngest airmen to possibly the chiefs in each squadron?
Is that for me or for us?
Looks like for you, Chief.
Okay.
As Chief.
So again, like this is an individual thing and it's not mandatory. So, you know, in terms of the felt need for change, like it came out of our UEI. So there was already people craving development. I think, you know, it's a tough space to kind of figure out what people want because people sometimes don't know what they want until they see it. So, you know, the key, I think, there is providing options, right? And not necessarily lecturing people, but allowing them to asking them questions and then providing them a venue for answers to their questions, right? So that it remains bottom up. So I think by just being open and accessible, you know, to where you can get to it on your phone, making it cool, making it look cool, sound cool, putting money into it so that it's, you know, LinkedIn Learning, it's not that I can't develop a good course that people would be interested in, but there's also a multitude of things online that we have access to that are great courses. So the quality of the product is extremely important. And then realizing that this is not for everybody, right? So Chiefs in particular, like a lot of people are analog kind of learners, they're old school, kind of like me. So this is not their preferred method of mentoring or delivering, and I'm fine with that. But you know, the only thing we mandated is you have to try it, right? Try it and give us some feedback. So that part's mandatory. And then, you know, if you go, hey, listen, not really for me, but I love that my troops are using it, you know, that's great, right? Like, again, it's not mandated and we're not going to get everybody, but I think those things, the attraction of it, the quality of the product, the accessibility is what will attract the generational gap.
And Chief, if I may just add, I think part of it is really over communication, right? Whenever you're trying to lead change in this way, especially something big like this, you can't over communicate enough. So we've offered specifically road shows to each squadron because we felt like the applicability of this program at the squadron level will make people want to use it. So each squadron is using it in different ways. Some people are using it as a feedback method. Some folks are just using it to deliver content or assign learning to their new folks. Some people are using it as an onboarding tool to communicate with folks that are coming here, like Brenda just mentioned that we're doing for our incoming command chief. So there's plenty of ways to do it. And I think if you just start with one feature of the program, specifically with Bridge, if you just start with one feature, you get people seeing the rest of the features that they may want to use. So applicability, showing them the context in which they can use it is key to providing buy-in. Thanks.
Okay. Looks like this question may be for Yusar Reyes. Bringing in outside speakers, was it hard to get contracting and finance support in order to bring things in? Or was it easy with wing leadership support?
Brenda, I think you're actually perfectly suited to answer this question, so I'll leave it to you.
Okay.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
Okay, got it. So yeah, bringing in the wing, the speakers. Yeah, we definitely, the wing speakers that we have in, we've actually reached out to a few of them, but getting the wing speakers in was actually not a problem at all. And it was just a matter of asking the question. We had people that we had in mind that we wanted to bring in, and we just made it happen. We asked the question and it didn't hurt. If they said no, it said no. Obviously the money was a factor in some cases, but most of we had a very amazing speaking event. It was called Service that Rocks earlier this year. And the speaker was amazing and he worked really, really well with us. And it was a really great event. And we just let the finance team, we told them what we wanted, and finance, legal, and wing leadership got together and they said, make it happen. And we made it happen. So no, it wasn't actually an issue at all. And it worked out very well. And we just asked the question, and that's basically how it all started. So no, it was definitely not an issue at all.
And Brenda, you mentioned the importance of knowing the mission and vision for the program. So I think part of that is, as long as everything, all of your lines of effort is in line with your mission and vision, which of course is championed by wing leadership, I really don't see an issue with buying content or providing keynote speakers. Those shouldn't be difficult to arrive to as long as everything you're getting after is aligned with the mission and vision for the program. So just wanted to add that.
Okay. Yeah, and that's basically, I'm very open with the program. I ask everybody what they're looking for, and there's no question that we turn away. The worst that can happen is no. So this is one of those innovative ways. It's just if there's something that we can bring to the table for the airmen, then we absolutely will do it and make it happen. And like I said, if it's a simple no, then we just move on and just maybe sometimes ask why and pretty much provide the feedback on what we're looking for. But that's pretty much one of the biggest takeaways with that. So thank you for asking that question. I have about 6 more here, but I'll get to them here as much as we can from, let's see, who is this? Is this a primary duty or an additional duty? I think we mentioned that earlier. We do have a lot of people, this is additional duty for most. And like myself, I do fly. So when I have to pretty much find and be creative ways to do both, but you can definitely 100% get involved. You don't have to be assigned to the wing to do this. So no, it is, I mean, yes, it is additional duty, but you're more than welcome to do this at any type of, pretty much wherever you work. So
Yeah, I think it's a significant additional duty, for the primary members of the team. But yeah, you can do it with guest help. We have periods where we have to focus, just like running any kind of PD at a wing, a PES or something. There's periods where the team will drill down and focus on this in particular. And then other than that, they have, their primary AFSC and they just do it as an additional duty.
So we have a lot of funding questions. We have about 3 funding questions, so we'll pretty much tie it into one. How is the funding incorporated in all this? Is it something that and I can tell you from currently, we are actually working with Captain Lamb on this, and funding is something that we discuss highly, but as in the beginning, Reyes, it didn't seem to be a big issue when you guys started this off, but right now it's definitely something that we focus on a lot, but it's something that is definitely discussed. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, so on funding, I think, the key part of funding is bring the finance person in early and put them on your team. Like that's the number one thing. Like they'll figure those things out. And if it's got the right level of priority, again, your commander can apportion some funds to it. We've used innovation funds for a portion of it. We've used other things like, but your finance guy or girl will tell you how to do that.
All right, here's a question. It says 5 years from now, where do you see Sandfox University going? Far, simple. In 5 years from now, Sandfox University will be going high and strong. I mean, hopefully that's the goal, right? It's pretty much been going, and it's an ongoing project, and it's been going pretty good so far. So we're hoping that in the 5 years, all the tools and everything we worked out, and people will be coming to the 89th Wing, getting on bridge, utilizing bridge, and it become the new additional tool for the 89th Wing. So in 5 years, I see it staying. That's the goal.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, the sky's really the limit. And, I was even guilty of kind of being a little closed-minded. I remember once somebody asked me if, are you going to have a campus one day? And I was like, it was kind of early on. I was like, man, I'm trying to get an office, I'm not really worried about a campus. But as I, rewound and thought about that, I was like, hey, why couldn't we have a campus? Why couldn't there be a building that housed all our training and professional development? So I think that's something that's kind of on my mind in terms of professionalizing it and really making it the center of training and professional development for the wing. Like if I was around 5 years from now and I saw that would make me happy.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. All right, just going through all the questions here. Any more questions? Looks like a lot of finance questions. on here, wing leadership. Oh, this is a very okay question here from one of the. This Chief Miss may be for you. As far as the wing here, what would you recommend if somebody was trying to initiate this? What would be your number one recommendation to the wing?
One recommendation if you're trying to imitate what we're doing here. I think you know you got to start obviously with getting the advocacy of your wing leadership, because that will drive the resources again and the priority that you need. But that's not the be all end all. I think you know, first you got to look at your formation and see where the gaps are and what people actually want, and try to get some semblance of that. And then you know, build a team around it. You know, the strength of St. Fox University is the strength of the board of directors and the team. Like, you know, because we have inclusion from everybody, every organization in the wing, like it definitely makes the program stronger. It makes the program more relevant. So I would say be very careful in picking your team. Like we were careful in picking our team, and you know, somehow our whole team got promoted this year for some reason. And you know, of course that's a great attraction tool for people in the Air Force, because people got promoted, you know. And I don't think one had to do with the other, but we just picked motivated individuals that were passionate about development and passionate about people. So I'd say pick a team that has passion and get your boss on board, and then you know, work within the constraints of resources or whatever you have, but don't be limited in your thinking. You know, I spent a lot of time in special operations, and we don't do anything cheap and we don't do anything half-assed. So like my thinking is always, what's the best we can do? And then I work backwards from there based on limitations, right? I think a lot of times we got into a sequestration mindset where people are always primarily thinking, how do we do things cheap? And then maybe if we can get some more money, we can do what we really want to do. Do not start with that mindset. Start with the mindset of what do we need and what's the best we can do for our people, and then work backwards from there. Build the right team, get the advocacy, and just move out. You know what I mean? Bias for action. Do something. That's my advice.
Very good advice, Chief. That is just like to second that with the team for sure. Something that was very helpful is setting up, again, like what we talked about at the beginning, like just knowing where you're going, because this can easily turn into something with many, many, many ideas, and you kind of just get lost a little bit. So just having a really good team, having dedicated people to certain things, and pretty much pushing that forward is development to take away, having vision, and those type of things. And just, I mean, it's as simple as a PowerPoint slide, just kind of taking all the ideas and putting it on one, and then prioritizing what's important and getting those things in line. So that's
Yeah, I agree 100%. Write things down. Like good ideas are just good ideas until you really write them down and you can action it.
Yeah, I agree with what Chief said. You know, from the very conversation the first conversation we had when planning it out, we talked about being the initiative and the boldness that was necessary to get after this program was going to be key. We definitely balanced that with some vector checks, with some stakeholders that we had, primarily, you know, wing leadership, the wing commander, and again, she's been a great champion for all this. But that, along with building something that lasts and not something that's fast, was something that was often discussed. So for the 5-year question earlier, definitely we started with that vision. You know, what does this look like when we're all gone? Not, hey, what is this going to look like, you know, next week or next year? So a long look at it, and really aggressively pursuing it with a lot of inputs so that we didn't get stovepiped into our group think. That is very important, and especially in the design process of it.
Well, thank you, everybody. That looks like it wraps up a lot of our questions here. Thank you, Chief Pilgrim, for being here. I've greatly appreciated staying through. And then Chief, thanks a lot. Is there anything that you want to close up, Chief, before we sign off?
I just want to say thanks to everybody again for taking the time to listen to our little effort here that turned into a big effort, and just really proud of my team, proud of my teammates and what they've produced here from something that was just a daydream. So excited to share it with anybody that has further questions can email me or email any of the team, and excited to be partnering with Quarantine University again, and wish the best for everyone and their families, and be well and be safe.
Thank you, Chief. I'll start Ray. Any wrap-up words before we close out?
Thanks, Chief. Thanks for having me on. Air Force Quarantine University. Thanks.
Again, thank you to the entire team back over at 89th Wing. So thank you, Quarantine University, for having us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Stay safe and be well. And thanks again. Have a good day.
You on still?
Yeah, I think we're still on, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if Brenda's.
I think she is. You on, right, Brenda?
I am, yes. I just.
Oh, cool. Are we still live?
I
We are
hope.
not live. We are off alive.
I gotcha. I didn't see the on-air, off-air sign, so I was like,
You gotta watch
no.
Brenda, man. You gotta watch her clothes.
I'm trying not to. You want to stop recording?
Hilarious.